Welcome back to the channel. United sit on 4 points from our opening 4 games. 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses with a goal difference of -3, scoring 4 and conceding 7. This season started with promise. In that first performance against Arsenal, we saw real signs of change and we looked pretty good at times, but the dismantling at the Etihad has left us completely devoid of any confidence going into every single game. We feel unequipped, particularly in midfield and in the goalkeeper area. Amorim's post-match comments highlighted the need for more time to implement the high-pressing fluid system. With no European distractions this season, the focus is squarely on performance and points in the domestic scene. But that said, the recovery is about to meet yet another challenging roadblock in Chelsea, who are flying at the moment. They arrive at Old Trafford undefeated, in domestic leagues at least. 2 wins and 2 draws in the Premier League. Maresca's side have been clinical. They have got youthful exuberance, tactical maturity, and they sit comfortably inside the top 4. The headlines surrounding the game are all about the manager and what happens should he lose. There was a meeting this week where Jim Radcliffe supposedly gave his support to Ruben Amorim and said, we're in this for the long haul and let's figure it out. But he's in for a rough ride. The other side of the headlines is Alejandro Garnacho's return. Will he play? Gitten's anonymous performance against Brentford could see Garnacho given his first Chelsea start. Cole Palmer's fitness is touch and go, but he seems to be in top shape after scoring against Brentford. Chelsea have had very few problems with their goal-scoring form up until now, and they are going to put United's unconfident defence to the test. The odds favour Chelsea, the form favours Chelsea, but the Old Trafford crowd could help push us over the line. Now, how do they play? Maresca's Chelsea have a modern possession-dominant system that seems like it's heavily influenced by his time under Pep Guardiola. Key principles are controlled build-up, fluid rotations, and a relentless press. It looks, and certainly starts on paper, as a 4-2-3-1 that morphs into a 3-2-4-1 or even a 3-2-5, like a lot of teams do at the moment, once in possession. You'll see the likes of Reece James and Cucurella inverting into midfield to overload those central areas and create numerical superiority. That allows Chelsea's midfielders in Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo to begin to dictate tempo with short, progressive passes, while the front line, starring Cole Palmer, drifts in and out as a 10. And the 2 wingers exploit the half spaces and switches of play to try and get 1v1 versus defenders. Defensively, they're going to squeeze really high. They're going to push up and be aggressive. They're going to try and nick the ball on any sort of back passes. They're going to try and force turnovers. And they're going to try and launch quick counters. Their recent form shows them to be very balanced. They concede very few goals. Their goal scoring has been improved this season. The signing of João Pedro seems to be starting off quite successfully. And from a United perspective, beating Chelsea means denying them the ball and pushing them in transition. The star player for Chelsea will be Cole Palmer. Despite his recent injury record and occasional dips in form, it's stupid to count him out. He is Chelsea's star man. He will probably end up with a lot of space to dictate. We can't allow him that. The recent goal that he got against Brentford brought back some confidence. We know too well how he can turn up against United. We have to deal with him. Premier League is in full swing, and today's video is sponsored by our friends at Sailly. Whether you are travelling for work, on holiday, or you're following your team across Europe, staying connected is essential, and that's why I use Sailly. Right now, new users can get 15% off by visiting sailly.com/Howson or using the code HOWSON. That's HOWSON. Sailly is a very simple eSIM app that gives you instant mobile data in over 200 destinations. There are no SIM cards, no roaming charges, no hunting for Wi-Fi. It's perfect for checking the live scores, streaming your highlights, or just staying on top of the transfer updates while you are away from home. Here's all you got to do. Download the Sailly app. Choose with your data plan, activate it right from your phone in minutes. It might even be seconds. It really does not take long whatsoever. You don't have to mess about with airport queues. You don't need to fiddle about with your SIM tray. There's no where's the signal drama when it matters the most. If your phone doesn't support an eSIM, Saily will let you know immediately and they will give you a full refund. You need to stay connected wherever your football takes you. You got 15% off at saily.com/Howson or use the code HOWSON. Honestly, I used it throughout the American tour that we've just been on in pre-season and it was unbelievably simple. Very, very straightforward to do. A big thanks to Saily for keeping fans connected wherever the football goes. In terms of my United 11, I think he has to change something, man. He has to change something. He absolutely has to change something. What does he change? I think in this game you go with Lemon in net. I think there has to be a change with the goalkeeper and there's no time like the present to do it. Let's see it happen. I would go with a back three of Yoro, De Ligt and Mazraoui. I think Luke Shaw requires dropping after last week. There has to be consequences to poor performance. So Luke Shaw has to sit out for me. That would mean Delo comes in at right wing back, Dorgu left wing back. I would go with Mainu and Agate and I would push Bruno further forward. I don't think he's going to do that. So it almost feels like a waste of my time of me saying this, but I would do that. Let's see it. Let's see Bruno played a little bit higher rather than Ahmad and Mbumo, who are the same player almost. Let's see Bruno and Mbumo behind Sesko with a midfield, Agate and Mainu. There has to be change. We cannot just keep putting Bruno in the double pivot and playing the same way and wondering why we get carved open in the centre of the pitch. We are clipping Bruno's creativity by playing him deeper, and we are making ourselves vulnerable by playing him deeper. There are no positives to playing him in that position, in my opinion. Amorim's 3-4-3 is set up tailor-made to beat Chelsea if you can execute this correctly. But executing the plan effectively is something that we have failed to do all season. We've got to press intelligently. United's front three must target the Chelsea's imperfect build-up by closing down those passing lanes between the centre-halves and the full-backs, which are going to try and ghost in behind them. Bruno Fernandes is going to be key here. He has to drop deep and man-mark Enzo Fernandez, disrupting that double pivot and not getting dragged into pressing higher up the pitch. If you can force them into long balls, United's aerial ability should win out against Chelsea's forward line. In possession, reducing the amount of sideways passes and going more direct can exploit Chelsea's high line. If you can get Mbumo 1v1 with their back line, I fancy his chances to be able to do something against them. There's always going to be a free man up against Chelsea's back line because of how aggressive their line is. If you can find that free man in transition, that inward positioning that they've got leaves space for someone to really exploit and get in behind them. As usual, a lot of our play will be forced through the fullbacks, the wingbacks. I would like to see Sesko with strong hold-up play, try and open up the avenues for the likes of Mbumo, maybe even Bruno a little bit deeper to run off and around him. Most of our space will come from those wing-back areas, so we've got to be prepared for that. We can't just allow the wing-back play to become too predictable, which it has been in recent weeks. Pressing efficiently and limiting Chelsea's possession should make this game more suited to us, but they are more than good enough to punish us if and when we make mistakes. And that's the problem with United at the moment, is that we make a lot of individual mistakes. Chelsea have fragility in them, and United have got the tools to expose that fragility. But this is a game of mistakes. Which team is going to make the most mistakes? The money would be on United to make the most mistakes because of how this season has gone. But if we can cut out the mistakes, then this is a game that we can actually get something from. And obviously we go into it hoping we can do that. So I want to see that change. And I think that's the most important thing from a Manchester United fan perspective this week, this game. We need to see a difference. There has to be something different in how we set this team up and how we execute the plan this week. Because if it's just the same old, you're going to get the same old result and performance that you've had all season. I need to see something different. We need to see something different. And that's the only way you can do it. Let me know in the comments how you would set up against this team. Do you have any confidence of us getting something out? And enjoy the game. I'll be live afterwards to talk about how it all went. See you in the next one. Laters. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.